You're watching the Weiss channel. Okay, today we're going to find the end point given one endpoint and a midpoint. Let's go back to midpoint. How do you find the midpoint? Well, if the two endpoints are at 5 and 9, you can take 5 plus 9 and divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7, right? So that's what we do here. You take, for the x value, 1 plus 5 divide by 2. 3 plus 7 divide by 2, and you get 3, 5, right? Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 negative, right? 1 minus 7 is negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, right? So here, if you're given an end point and a midpoint, how do you find the other end point? Well, the easiest way to do this is to say, how far does it go? Do you go to get from 5 to 7? That adds 2, right? So if you add 2 to get from 5 to 7, just add another 2 to get to the other end point, 9. And that's what we're going to do, okay? So find the other end point given one endpoint and the midpoint. If one endpoint is 1, 3, and the midpoint is 4, 7, how do you find the other endpoint? Well, if the endpoint is 1, 3, how do you get from 1 to 4? You add 3. How do you get from 3 to 7? You add 4. So here, if you add another 3, you get 7. If you add another 4, you get 11. Done. If the endpoint is 2, 5, and the midpoint's 3, 7, what's the other endpoint? How do you get from 2 to 3? Add 1. How do you get from 5 to 7? Add 2. Add another 1, you get 4. Add another 2, you get 9. Done. In Delta Math, this is what the problem looked like. It says the midpoint of AB is M, negative 4, 0. If the coordinates of A are negative 6, 4, what are the coordinates of B? Okay, so A is negative 6, 4. How do you get from negative 6 to negative 4? You add 2, right? So to add another 2, that's going to be negative 2. To get from 4 to 0, you minus 4. Minus another 4, you're at negative 4. Okay? If point A is 8, 3 and the midpoint is 7, negative 2, what's the other end point? What's point B? How do you get from 8 to 7? Minus 1. Minus another 1 takes you to 6. How do you get from 3 to negative 2? You minus 5, right? Minus another 5 takes you to negative 7. If you're wondering how that's minus 5, think about a number line. 3, okay, to get from, 3 to negative 2, right? Aren't you going to go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, right? So that's negative 5. So to go from negative 2, another negative 5, right? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5 is negative 7. Okay? If A is 4, negative 7, and the midpoint is 6, negative 3, how do you get from 4 to 6? Add 2. How do you get from negative 7 to negative 3? Add 4, right? That takes you to 8, 1. You've been watching the Weiss channel.